Today on DNVR Buffs Live, Rodney Colton Jr. has selected the Buffs' 3 linebacker commitments this month. Put some respect on Coach Hart's name. Big 12 hot seat rankings. We'll talk offensive line and much more. Let's go. Buff Nation
Squad
coming to you live from the Toyota Lounge, driven by your Front Range Toyota stores. It is DNVR Buffs Live, alive, and well.
Oh yeah.
Oh my Lord, what a weekend for the Buffs again. Rodney Colton Jr. is a Buff. We'll get into that here very, very shortly. We'll talk about Coach Hart, Big 12 hot seat rankings, talk offensive line. Maybe a little bit of stuff from SEC Media Days. Scotty Deep Pockets. How was your weekend, bro?
It was good, man. It was a pretty good weekend. Very chill. Like we were talking about before the show, bro. Played a ridiculous amount of college football 26, the video game this weekend. Really got, like I said, I didn't play 25 at all. So this is kind of my first time really playing this iteration of this game for real, hours at a time. And had a rough start, but by like Saturday evening, I was like, oh yeah, I'm locked in for sure. Yeah. Played it pretty much all day yesterday, learning quite a bit. It's been fun, man. It's already after just a weekend, it's already hold it pretty close and dear to my heart already. Yep. I ain't even gonna lie. So, but you know who it wasn't a good weekend for? The Coach Hart naysayers.
Oh,
the Coach Hart haters. It was not a good weekend for them boys. It was not a good weekend for them boys. But how about you, Brusky?
It was great. Same thing. Played a ton of CFB 26. Had a lot of fun. Learning as well.
Yeah.
It's a different game. They just make enough changes every year to put you on your toes. So going through that. But other than that, man, pretty chill. Hanging out. Obviously following the Buffs for Rodney Colton's commitment on Saturday.
Massive one, bro.
Big time.
I think that's the biggest win of this recruiting cycle. That's what I tweeted. I think it's the truth.
Let's get into it then. Rodney Colton Jr. ends up picking the Buffs over
Florida State.
And Florida State. Big time players, big time NIL players too.
Oh yeah.
This is a massive win for Colorado in more ways than one, and not just really the player and the person that they're getting, but the statement that is set. And Colorado, look, we talked about this recently. I'll get to Rodney Colton Jr. in a second, but they've kind of done it the right way. They're not throwing money out in front to get in ahead of this revenue sharing stuff. You know, you never hear a kid saying that the coaches lied to me. They missed a payment. Blah blah blah. Coming out of Colorado,
Facts.
And Coach Prom's kept it clear. It's about the NFL, not the NIL.
Yes.
And you got another player to buy into the vision, and Rodney Colton Jr., 6'1", 220 pounds, Noonan High School. Out of Noonan, Georgia. How about this? 303, Colorado area code, or Denver area code. 303rd overall player, and he's the 21st ranked linebacker.
Just makes your heart smile, bro.
It does.
When you hear stuff like that, dude. I'm not gonna lie. I love to hear that.
But yeah, good stuff from Rodney Colton Jr. Did you watch the commitment? The commitment was lit too, because usually players, they go live on IG and it's like, all right, I'm committing. It's like 20 minutes. They got to set everything up. Nah, bro, turns on live and he just puts on the hat and it's lit instantly.
I love that, bro. More players need to take notes. And he just kind of strikes me as a no-nonsense type of dude. Like, he's not, I don't think, really in it for, like, the money and the fame and the notoriety and the followers. Like, bro is just a ball player. Like, one of the main quotes that came out of his commitment before he committed, or his recruitment before he committed, was that, I just want to ball. That's all I'm going to say. Wherever I go, I plan on balling. Like, this is, I think, a future NFL player. Like, he has that type of pedigree, that type of talent coming from that Georgia, hotbed of high school football talent. I mean, this is like a true blue chipper. Like you mentioned, the schools that he picked Colorado over, and you mentioned kind of the NIL part of it. I thought it was funny when he released his top 3. Somebody, like, one of the most liked comments under that post was like, with, Ole Miss and Florida State with Colorado. They were like, oh, all the NIL schools. So I'm like, really? What is Colorado looked at as an NIL school? That's how you know people not really tuned in for real. But those other 2 schools are for sure. They certainly have that reputation. And you mentioned it. Coach Prime has made it clear. We're about the NFL, not the NIL. And I think that has been a universal kind of message, a connected message from the entire recruiting staff, from Corey Phillips, for Darius Dardenbach, to everybody, all the coaches, Coach Hart, the rest of the position coaches. It seems like there has been a clear kind of, again, unified message that if you looking for a bag or the bread, this just not the place for you. Right. But if you're looking to make the NFL, if you're looking to get coached up the right way, if you're looking to compete for conference championships and for the college football playoff, this is the place for you.
And learn from the best.
Period. So
NFL experience on the staff.
I love this. I love this ad of Rodney Colton Jr. I think he is a dog, and he said it before he committed. He said, "Whoever gets me is getting an alpha." And he also mentioned that he's going to be playing. He said that he's going to be playing as a freshman. He said, "Best believe that I'm going to be playing as a freshman." And there is a path for him to do that with how the linebacker situation is set up for Colorado with the guys that they brought in, at least from the portal this year, on their last year of eligibility. There is going to be opportunity for Rodney Colton Jr. to start play a lot as a true freshman, and he has the talent and the ability to do so.
100%, bro. Do you have we have his tape, Alyssa? Yeah. Go ahead and pull up his tape. Let's get into exactly how he fits in with this team and, where he may be projected to slide in here with the linebacking core. But first thing you're going to notice when you turn on the tape, not a traditional like off-ball linebacker. He's playing a lot on the line. Could even be considered an edge, but he said that he will be transitioning formally to off-ball linebacker.
Oh my God!
As he gets it, I mean, yeah, dude.
Jesus Christ, that trigger was crazy.
Yeah,
he gets downhill right now.
That's a pick 6 right there. Just perfectly finds the passing lane, steps into it, houses it. But yeah, first step, the trigger, the motor. His hair's on fire every time he's playing.
Flying around downhill. I mean, this is going to be somebody from the second level of defense on the linebacker spot that gets like 6 sacks, like can have upwards of like 8 sacks from like a true linebacker position.
Yep.
Like he has that type of talent, that type of trigger ability. His athleticism just jumps off the tape as well.
I mean, he's a menace for quarterbacks right there. So
that's a scary sight. You seeing that young man coming downhill at you would have had his steam.
Yep, again on the edge here, but violent football player, man. I mean, when you play football, look at that. The ball's already on the ground, but he just has to, put a little extra oomph on that hit just to send a message too. I love it. He's going to be one of those players that like you retain the edge of your defense with a player like Rodney Colton Jr., right? And
brings attitude, I feel like.
Totally. And that's maybe one of the questions for this year, right? I mean, you lost your 2 linebackers from last year. You lose Travis. You lose Shiloh and Cam. Like, you lose a lot of your quote-unquote maybe enforcers, right? You're searching for some new guys to do that this year. But you get someone in the heart of your defense like this in Rodney Colton Jr. It's just an energy that everyone can feed off of. Be a leader. Him and Mantrez potentially, or him and Colby, or whoever it is.
Carson Crawford.
Or Carson. Like, there's options now for this team moving forward at the linebacker position. So this is a very exciting addition.
Yeah, bro. The versatility is something that this coaching staff, this recruiting staff is clearly coveted. I would say in pretty much everybody they've added. Out of all the 9 commits I feel like they've added in this 2026 class, I want to say all of those guys can play multiple positions. And obviously Rodney Colton is no exception here with his ability to play off the edge, play a true linebacker spot, rush the passer, play downhill in the run, and obviously play the pass as well. So I I just love this ad, Murray. You mentioned it. Already adding Carson Crawford at the linebacker spot, already having Kobe Johnson at the linebacker spot, after adding a 4-star linebacker, Montrez Walker from last year, who was a former Michigan commit.
Yep.
I feel like people forget that as well.
Yep.
Whoever this linebacker coach is for Colorado, wasn't doing a hell of a job recruiting.
We will get to that. This decision, though, it was really close. Again, this is a massive win for Colorado in more ways than one because, and we'll get into this. We're gonna have another video coming today. Just kind of recapping the class and maybe some more pressing questions that a lot of y'all have in your mind. But Colton Jr. said that really it came down to a last-minute call between Coach Prime and Coach Hart when they had a heart-to-heart about his recruitment. Does that count as two?
No. Nope.
They had a heart-to-heart about his recruitment. And look, it's the one thing you've been kind of missing this cycle is Coach Prime's influence, right?
Yeah.
And Coach Prime felt the need to give Colton Jr. a call, maybe get that last, minute sway in there. And it proved to be the difference. So
I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
Do you think Coach Prime making an appearance at Big 12 Media Days and that coinciding with this recent recruiting momentum are correlated at all?
I mean, it's so hard for us to say.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I guess I'd lean yes more than no just because he's been so low-key this summer.
I think especially if it's like, especially in Rodney Colton's situation where recruiting is coming down to the wire, you're looking for just one or two things to kind of make a difference. And I think just seeing Coach Prime in public, looking like himself, sounding like himself, and getting that phone call, like you mentioned, with him and Coach Hart could have potentially, just been that last thing for him and maybe a couple other guys. Xavier Payne, who recently here, could potentially, and obviously Carson maybe as well. So this is interesting to think about.
I mean, it's a good question. We can dig into that more in the video we'll do later today as well. But it obviously played a role, Coach Prime's health this summer in terms of recruiting. How big of a role, who knows, truly.
Right.
And I don't know if you'd ever get a straight answer from CU or Coach Prime on the impact of that. But this is exactly the type of player that you kind of do that to. I mean, if Coach Prime has any little extra energy in him to muster up and, just spend 10, 15 minutes talking to Rodney Colton Jr., and that proves to be enough. I mean, who knows? Maybe this kickstarts Coach Prime to kind of getting back into his recruiting ways as well, too. I mean, obviously the seasons when Colorado does a lot of their damage. So
for sure. And I mean, we'll talk about it a little bit later, but 9 commits already in this class, and that was done with, your head coach dealing with some health issues.
Yep.
So when he's back in the fold and the games start beginning and recruits can come on campus for that game day experience, it's going to be even scarier.
No doubt, man. All right, let's take our first break, and then we will talk about Coach Hart. Shout out to our friends over at Empire today. Best in class when it comes to flooring, hardwood, carpet, tile, whatever you need for your home or business, they've got you covered. They got you covered because they're the best at it. They're the experts at it. And they're not going to try and upsell you on something for your sink or something for your air conditioning or whatever. All they do is flooring. That's all they know. So you can trust them to help you find exactly what you need for your home or business. You can bring the showroom straight to your home with their virtual floor designer, or you can schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are just better at home. DNVR listeners can receive a $350 discount when you use promo code DNVR. You heard that right. That's a $350 discount with code DNVR. Restrictions apply. Visit EmpireToday/DNVR for full details.
And shout out to the squad over at Coors Light who, honestly, lately, these days, hold a special place in my heart. Yep. Coors Light does. I love me some Coors Light, especially a weekend like the one we just had, man. Coors Light, some college football, video game, you know what I'm saying? Maybe sipping a little poolside. Coors Light, it's the summer for Coors Light, man. Whether you're, chilling outside I will actually ran into a DNVR diehard
Yeah, I
this
saw
weekend
that.
out in the Rhino neighborhood. I think he had a Coors Light in hand.
Of course he did.
He knows ball.
He's a
He knows
diehard.
what's up.
He knows.
Shout out to my guy Grandpa. As y'all know, when the mountains turn blue, Coors Light is as cold as the Rocky. It's cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for such a smooth finish. When you embrace the chill mindset, it's a good time to choose chill and crack open a Coors Light. Make the most out of the times you choose to chill. Choose Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door. You don't even got to go anywhere. Just visit CoorsLight.com/DNVR. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. I want to address something. Some people are talking about it in the chat about a deal that I made a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on with that, so you're going to have to tell me too.
So there was it started with a tweet. This was the tweet. I made this on June 13th. It was actually, exactly a month ago almost today. Few 2026 high school recruits Colorado was in the mix for. And I named 7 guys. And I remember it being like, if we go 6 for 6 here, or even 5 for 6 here, I would eat meatloaf. That was the deal.
Lord.
And I said that on the show.
Yeah.
But that just didn't happen. They did not go 5 or 6 or 6 for 6. The recruiting has been on a heater lately.
Yes.
But the names included on this tweet, you guys will recognize it. Sedarian Morgan, Deacon Schmidt, Jordan Deck, Jordan Clay, Manoa Falpuso. None of those guys committed to Colorado. So, the meatloaf eating bet with that didn't come to fruition. But still, great job by this recruiting staff recently.
Well, chat, the challenge has been presented then.
Sorry, guys.
You got to come back to the table with another offer.
Yeah.
Another
I was willing to do it. I was willing to do it now. But, hey, rules are rules.
Yeah. You're breaking the chat's heart right now.
It'll be all right. Carlton gets it.
All right. Let's talk about it. Put some damn respect on Coach Hart's name, man.
What the heart wants.
Look.
What the heart needs.
I think a lot of this has been absolutely unfair, how a lot of people have spoken about Coach Hart. Let's just go back through the entire timeline here. He shows up in 2023. There's nothing left over, really. Bunch of dudes enter the portal.
Yeah.
He's got even Marvin Ham projected to make a starting position, and he was on the 22 team. Juju Mitchell comes in. He's a revelation. Whatever happens. Completely out of Coach Hart's control what happens to Juju Mitchell.
Right.
Should honestly be given credit for bringing him in and for realizing that we can take this late edition. It was like early August he comes in. For bringing in this early edition and, really injecting some life into the linebacking core. Whatever. The end of the season, not a great year. We know what happens, 4-8, blah, blah, blah. We go on to last year. And that's when the criticism, it's starting, right? With the recruiting class. All the guys from the 23 recruiting class all enter the portal pretty much. You're looking for answers at the position. You still have JB. You still have Woods at that point. And also, you need to get credit for what he did with Trevor Woods, too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a hard conversion. And I know it probably didn't work out how Trevor would have wanted it to, how anyone would have wanted it to.
Yeah.
He ends up leaving, obviously. But Trevor did play some good football at that position, especially in the 2023 season when they were looking for answers there. So we go into the 2024 spring. Nikai Hill-Green emerges, right around the spring game. He commits that day. You still have Bent on the roster, and people aren't really too excited about Bentley. All of a sudden, 2024 season, those two transform the unit, transform the defense. Honestly, I mean, they are just completely thumping dudes. I mean, one of the best run defenses in the Big 12.
No doubt.
They get the Mantrez Walker commitment shortly after Nikai commits. Also, by the way, you come into this offseason, and we told you all this, and I told you all this. They were looking at linebacker for this class specifically. It was clear if you just followed the offers, the position was going to be addressed. And when the initial targets didn't come back, people, Coach Hart's just got to do a better job. Coach Hart can only do so much when it comes to recruiting. You got to get to the finish line. You can't make a recruit cross the finish line.
Nope.
Though. You can't make them pick a hat.
Nope.
That's all on them. So he got them in position with multiple players. They just happened not to pick Colorado. Now we hit this summer stretch, and they find a couple 3-stars who we think are gems.
Yeah.
And now you get a blue chipper and Rodney Colton Jr. What more could you want from Coach Hart at this point? I mean, he is, honestly, if you've been following the recruiting, the offers, the visits, damn, they've been trying to get linebackers into this program.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been necessarily their fault that they haven't chosen Colorado, honestly.
No doubt. I mean, I think what you said, a lot of it is spot on. And honestly, it hurts my heart sometimes to hear the way some people talk about Coach Hart. And I just feel like a lot of it is just grounded. What's the word I want to use here? I don't want to say ignorance, but just not really understanding, I think, the big picture of everything that goes into recruiting. And you kind of alluded to some of it, right? You can't make these 17-year-old kids do what you want them to do.
Yes.
You can recruit your butt off. You can put everything in front of them that they might want to hear or might want to see. But especially in today's landscape where money is involved, money is very much involved. When you're trying to go after the 4 and the 5-star, the cream of the crop, money is going to be involved, and money is going to be a factor, whether it be the number 1 factor or the number 3 or 4, wherever on that kind of tier list for a young man. It's going to be involved. And I think it's safe to say that Colorado isn't the biggest player when it comes to money in recruiting in college football, especially compared to some of the schools that
just the other two that
are going to be targeting the guys that you want to target, right? So I think Coach Hart it has just been unfairly maligned. You alluded to it again yesterday. When I first got here, I was unsure about Levante Bentley, what his true ceiling was, whether he was like, if he was starting for you, how good that defense could be. I had real questions about that.
I think a lot of us did
when I first arrived here.
Yeah.
By week 6 of the season, there were no questions to be had about Levante Bentley's place on this defense and his impact on it. And I think a lot of that has to do with Coach Hart. Levante Bentley played his best football of his life under Coach Hart, and I think Levante Bentley would tell you that. Nikhai Hill-Green probably played the best football of his life.
I think so.
Under Coach Hart.
Does he get to Alabama without last year?
He would not. No. And I think Nikhai Hill-Green would tell you that as well. Now, I would say that I don't know why Nikhai Hill-Green wasn't starting week 1, and I've said that on the pod before.
Yeah.
But I digress. You know, things happen. He was on the field before it got too late, and so I'll give him credit for that. So, and you mentioned it, getting Mantrez Walker really early in the cycle last year, a former Michigan commit, a 4-star on certain sites, I think was a massive win. And to follow that up the next year with this run that he's gone on now, starting with Kobe Johnson, starting with Carson Crawford, and now with obviously Rodney Colton Jr., you have nothing to say negative about that man, at least until the season starts, until we start seeing games. But on the recruiting side of things, he has redeemed himself, and I don't even think he really had to, but I'm sure he heard some noise based on, you know, what he posted.
Oh, yeah.
Coach Hart posted Rodney Colton's commitment on his IG with the song "What Did I Miss" by Drake. Great move by Coach Hart there. But
shout out Coach Hart, man.
But yeah, this is where we're at. I mean, recruiting takes time, and Eric mentions it there. People were turned off by the NOB thing.
Well, okay, go ahead. There's a lot to get into on that.
Go ahead. I'll let you go ahead.
So look, he did his job there.
He did.
It was what, a top 3?
I think so.
I don't even know who else it was in. Michigan is Michigan.
You're right.
Like, if an IMG recruit picks Michigan over you, I'm sorry. I'm not going to get up. You can't get upset about that. I don't think you really have grounds to get upset about that. That a guy who, you know, picked a more prestigious school at this point in time, a team who a lot of people would say is better than Colorado at this time. Plus, like, they're going to have more money.
I would say the same with DQ Forkba, another IMG guy who both of those guys were in Colorado for a visit, an official visit, which is a big deal.
Yeah.
Getting these guys on visits was mean you were near the top of their kind of recruitment choices. And yeah, again, you look at where DQ Fork was going to end up. It's going to be at one of those schools like Michigan, and obviously NOB is already there. You can't fault Coach Hart and this recruiting staff for going after the big fish.
Totally.
And then turn around and get mad when they add a 3-star that you don't know nothing about.
Right.
You can't have it both ways. If you're going to go for the big fish, then you're going to do that, and you're going to take some L's, and you're going to get some wins, hopefully.
Yeah.
And this is where we're at. But people just, I think finally, we might have gotten over the hump of hearing about Coach Hart.
I
Potentially.
I don't know.
We'll see. But he's done a hell of a job. And, I know what my heart says. And my heart says that Coach Hart is doing a hell of a job this summer on the recruiting trail.
And to go back to Nakai was committed to, I think, 2 other schools. He ends up having a change of heart, probably because of his recruitment, to come to Colorado. Like, he was essentially flipped.
It's true.
Same thing with Mantrez. I mean, he changed his mind. He was committed somewhere else. So, look, I think he's held to a higher standard because he is one of Coach Prime's guys. I think that's quite obvious, right? Mm-hmm. And whether, fair, unfair, however you want to look at that standard, that's just the reality of it. And I think that's where a lot of the criticism stems from, is they see that relationship and they expect a lot more.
Right.
But, I mean, man, go back and look at what NOB said about his visits. I can almost guarantee you he spoke about how much Coach Hart meant to him in that recruitment, how hard he tried to, get him to become a Buff. And also, last point on this. Let's talk about coaching, the actual job. Like, yes, recruiting is a big part of it.
That matters, don't it?
The coaching part. You mentioned Levanta Bentley.
Yeah.
Trevor Woods is one. Getting Marvin Ham into a top 2 depth chart ready piece.
Yeah.
If you see these steps from Mantrez this year, I honestly don't know what else you can say about Coach Hart, the coach, because I think he's made more with less than almost any other coach on this roster. I mean, how many times the last 3 years have we done positional power rankings? And linebacker, I mean, outside of Nakai, it's not a strong group in terms of pure talent when you compare it to the secondary and edge group on this defense.
I would even add in the fact that he got Martavius French.
Of course.
Who did what last season? Oh, he led all inside linebackers in all of college football in tackles for losses. He added Reggie Hughes. What did Reggie Hughes do? He had a season at Jacksonville State last year that landed him on Phil Steele's preseason all Big 12 team. Am I right?
Yeah.
These are 2 good players that Coach Hart added this offseason that are going to be very key and important pieces, assuming everything goes well, of this defense this year. Mm-hmm. So there's really nothing I don't think you can really say negatively about that man right now. But like I said, I know in my heart of hearts where this linebacker room is at, and I feel like it's in a massively, completely different place than it was 2 years ago, and obviously much different than it was even before then.
Truly. And at the heart of it all, this defense it's a steady progression. And you can see it. It's the same thing with the linebacker room. And honestly, I'd be even willing to say that the linebacker room started at even a lower point than a lot of other rooms on that defense.
No doubt.
So if you're just lying to yourself if you don't see the progression over time of that room.
Yeah.
And also to go back to French and Hughes, like those were such early commitments. I think people have just really cooled off on those because so many other commitments, so much other stuff has happened since then.
Yep.
I mean, they were 2 of the first guys, right, in that cycle this winter.
Very, very early.
So it's kind of recency bias, how you know, people see it and they go, oh, what has he done? And it's like, well, he got you your starting linebackers out of the portal again this year.
Who have real production.
Yes.
And I tweeted it, I think maybe a month or 2 ago, off of a video that CU Buffs football Twitter account posted. Reggie Hughes is going to be a fan favorite this fall.
Yes.
Fans are going to fall in love with that young man, I'm telling you.
I don't know what chat's laughing at. Let's take our next break. You like money, Scotty?
I love it, bro.
You like saving money?
I love it, bro.
Hit up our friends over at Monarch Money. They make tracking your money, expenses, where your money's coming in, where it's going out to, all super easy. You know, we have all those pesky subscriptions, right? Whether you love them, you need them, or you just hate it and it's just out of, I don't know, work or whatever that you have a subscription. Sometimes we forget about those and they just, you know, constantly, month after month, rack up. Well, that stuff adds up. Monarch Money, though, makes it super easy to view and control all your finances in one place. It's like your own personal CFO. Start managing your finances to build the life you actually want. Monarch makes managing money simple, even for busy lives. Again, makes it just super easy, all in one place. You don't have to go through all your accounts and, add, subtract, all this stuff. It's just right there for you. It's named the Wall Street Journal's best budgeting app of 2025. It's the top recommended personal finance app by users and experts with over 30,000 5-star reviews. Get control of your overall finances with Monarch Money. Use code DNVR at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code DNVR. Follow your heart with Monarch Money.
Shout out to the squad over at FanStake, y'all. Today's episode is brought to you by our friends over at FanStake, which is a new platform where fans can pledge direct support to athletes to help their favorite teams to recruit and retain top players, because don't nobody want to get that notification that their favorite player just transferred. That notification that's going to make your heart sink. Don't nobody want that. This is the best part of FanStake, though. It's all risk-free. You can place stakes for a specific athlete to join or stay at a certain school, and if that athlete decides to go elsewhere, you get your money back. If the player does go to your school, though, they're eligible to sign an NIL deal with FanStake and receive their pool of stake money. This is quite literally the simplest way to provide direct support for the team's young core, because, like I said, we're going to want to keep these young players around for as long as possible to make sure that they don't transfer. CU is only the 5th most popular fan base on FanStake right now, which I feel like is a disservice. We got to get those numbers up. And this is a good time to do it because FanStake is currently offering new fans a free $25 credit. Like I said, no credit card required, no strings attached. And I'm encouraging everyone to join me in staking for Mantrez Walker.
Yes.
He is so important to the future of this team.
Rodney Colton Jr. too.
Yeah, Rodney Colton Jr. Right, facts. Click the link in our description, scan the QR code, or just head over to fanstake.com and use promo code DNVR to keep these boys in Boulder. Shout out to FanStake. We love FanStake.
Scotty, you're so good at that ad read. It's like you know it by heart, man.
I try, man.
All right, a few more things to get to. Do you have the offensive line stuff ready, Alyssa?
Or before that, or should we look at the class first?
Oh yeah. Just your tweet?
Yeah. Can we just pull that tweet up, Alyssa?
So here's where we stand now with the 2026 class. I have to say this is the strongest of recruiting classes looked under Coach Prime at Colorado over the last 3 years.
As of this point of the year?
As of July 14th?
Absolutely.
I think so.
No doubt about it.
They've kind of been all over the country too. And it's fascinating from that perspective, like the amount of like pipelines they've been able to tap into. And like we'd like to see some of them, I think, fleshed out a little bit more, right? But here it is right now. You got 3 blue chippers and 4 stars. I mean, the Gavin Mueller 4-star, it's only rivals right now, but that one's going to be
he will be a true 4-star.
Did you see what he posted recently?
I don't think so.
He had some like camp clips, and he's like, if you don't double me on the first play, you'll for sure double me on the second.
And that's
just
why,
going crazy.
That's why I'm so confident he's going to be a true 4-star by the end of the season, because he doesn't have any production. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like he hasn't been playing football at the high school level, first off, for very long. Yep. This past season was his first season playing football, and he was in an offense on a team that didn't utilize the position. Mm-hmm. Now he's transferred to a different school where he's going to be utilized heavily, and his skill set is going to be on full display. I'm expecting a big year out of Gavin Mueller. And you just look at those top 3 guys, those 4-stars, in the schools that these young men chose Colorado over.
Facts.
Rodney Colton Jr. chose the Buffs over Ole Miss, Florida State, Penn State, UCLA. Preston Ashley chose the Buffs over Florida and Florida State. Gavin Mueller chose the Buffs over Wisconsin, LSU, Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Dogs right there. And you look at the rest of the list. We talked about a few of these guys. DeMonte Timms, I believe, is the latest of the 3 stars. Mm-hmm. But those are hidden gems right there. Hidden gems. DeMonte Timms, Carson Crawford, all those guys.
Yeah.
That
Joseph
you saw
Pecco,
on the list.
I mean.
Yeah. Domotop
Pecco Jr.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's exciting stuff.
Who you think's next? I got 2 names in mind.
Well, truthfully, the only name that comes to mind off the top of my head is CJ Sadler, but I know he's next month. So who's up next then?
2 names I'm keeping an eye on as the potentially next Buffs commit. I guess I'll 3 actually. First one would be Ben Gula.
Right.
3-star offensive lineman from down there in Florida. Recently, I think he's from Florida. Recently dropped the top 2.
Yeah, it's him and UCF, right?
Yeah, Colorado and UCF is his top 2. I talked to him briefly this weekend. He said that he has set, it's not set in stone, but he's looking at a July 20th announcement date. That is not set in stone, but if he does go with that, that could be an announcement coming this weekend. I don't like where Colorado stands on that. That would be their second or third offensive line commit, right? Just Xavier Payne? Yeah, it would just be their second offensive line commit. Another good one, though. So keep an eye on Ben Gula. T.I.
That's right, yep.
T.I. is still, in my book, a really big need. One, because the position he plays, defensive line, one of the best interior defensive linemen in the country. 2, because he's right here in Colorado. Mm-hmm. You know, right there down there at Cherry Creek. Like, he's got to stay home. The number 1 ranked recruit in the state, according to 24/7 Sports and some other outlets. So T.I.'s got to stay home. And the last name, kind of related, is you mentioned his name actually a couple of minutes ago, Joseph Pecco.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Down between Colorado and North Carolina. That'd be another great ad. Again, another really talented defensive lineman, hopefully keeping that Polynesian pipeline wide open. Yep. But those are the 3 names that I'm keeping an eye on that I think could be the next commit here.
We'll get some positive news out of that group. I feel firmly about that.
Yep.
All right. Again, we're doing another video after the show today, so you'll have another piece of content within the next 24 hours on recruiting and the class as a whole. We'll propose the question of if it was a successful recruiting summer or not.
Interesting.
Do we have the offensive line stuff?
Is that just the picture?
Yeah, either of them. Coach Gunners, if
the
you have
picture
that
of
one.
all of them.
Yeah.
The group pick first.
So the offensive line, obviously a massive topic with this team. I mean, maybe we don't talk about it as much, but it's just one of those things where it's like it's such a big deal looming kind of question that it's just sometimes we kind of ignore the obvious on this show because we go so deep on the team and all that. But this team and this offensive line group in particular looks like they're really coming together. There's a true brotherhood forming. It's just cool to see. I think Jordan kind of touched on that at Big 12 Media Day when we spoke to him. Mm-hmm. And you've just kind of saw it early, I think, when we spoke to Gunner in the spring and he's talking about Manataimani and how he's like the dad of the group, basically. Yeah. You could see it on Well-Off and stuff like that. I mean, Chauncey, I think, is really starting to settle in right now. Yo-Yo is like this big figure on the team, both physically and
his name popped up last week at Big 12 Media Days.
It did. So that's going to be an interesting one to follow. But it just seems like these guys are really having fun working out. Zai too, he's fitting in real nicely. But here they all are hanging out with Coach Gunner. I'm assuming those are his kids. I don't know where this is, but
it looks like a vibe. Doesn't that just make your heart smile, bro?
Yeah, man.
Seeing all those boys there together.
It's good stuff. It's a big look at Coach Gunner is not a small human.
Exactly.
And he's in the middle there.
He's in between 2 massive humans. That's Yo-Yo on his left. That's big Larry Johnson on his right. Phillip Houston next to Larry Johnson there. Yep. Look at Kareem Harden there all the way on the right.
Mm-hmm.
Sheesh.
Yep. And then Big Zai, third from the left there.
Yeah. Mana right next to Yo-Yo there.
Yep.
It's a good looking group, man. Them boys are massive. Shout out to Swayze. He got them boys looking different.
Yes, he does.
And you might have noticed. Do you have the other photo ready? You might have noticed one person who wasn't in that photo, but best believe he's still getting it in. This man, Jordan Seaton.
That is not even 20 years old.
That is a perfect caption too, dog. Lord help them. Because Jesus. Lord Jesus. That is
Lord.
Yeah. It's a large human being right there.
Yeah.
A strong human being right there.
Insane.
Future NFL top 10 draft pick right there.
Future NFL All-Pro, all that stuff.
It's crazy. And actually I heard this came out of Big 12 Media Days last week. During a breakout session, Utah's tackle, the star tackle, who was there, I believe. So Fano was there.
Yeah.
He was talking about Colorado, and he said that was Colorado's defensive line edge room was like the most competitive he played against last year. And checks out. Obviously on the other side though, we're talking about Arden and Quinn Barnes, but that's just going to be iron sharpening iron all summer leading up to this season. C working against those boys. I mean, those boys you just saw in the photo working against this defensive line, which we think is arguably the most talented, deepest position on the team.
For sure.
That's going to be good work all preseason.
And it's one of the biggest reasons why I think people are sleeping on this team nationally, right? Is it's kind of one of those, you got to prove it to me on the field type of things with the offensive line. And, of course, people are just going to point to, B.J. Green's gone. They're just not going to be good up front. Like, they weren't even rocking with B.J. Green preseason last year. That's the thing, though. You ask them, you say
saying?
London Merritt, and they're like, is that a hotel?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? But one person who does believe in the Buffs is Joel Klatt. He spoke recently about this because, look, Colorado is not being seen as a contender. They're not really being seen as a factor in the Big 12 at all.
Nope.
So he actually spoke to Brian Howell, and this comes from that. But this is what Joel Klatt had to say about the team, and don't count them out of the Big 12. Talent acquisition is the lifeblood of the program, and they've done a nice job acquiring talent. I think that they should be good at the quarterback position. What I actually think is more important, rather than some of those breakout stars that were off the line of scrimmage, is that the line of scrimmage is getting better and better and better and deeper. And I think you would agree with that, speaking to Brian, obviously. As opposed to like 2 years ago, they had some marquee talent on the outside. The line of scrimmage was really poor, and they tried to play around it, and it was tough. They got a little bit better last year, and they should be a little bit better on the line of scrimmage this year. And I think that alone should help them overcome some of those losses on the outside. Can you replace Shedeur right away? No. Even with Juju or Caden, and I think it's going to be difficult to do, although those two players are quality players, the harder one is Travis. Travis was the unicorn of all unicorns. Everyone just said, oh, you love Colorado, you love Travis. Like, yeah, for a reason. He was ridiculous. He was so good. One of the best players I've ever seen play college football. That's going to be very difficult to overcome because they're going to have to be multiple players that overcome that. And Coach Prime has said that specifically. You don't just replace Travis with one player. You do it with multiple players. But what Joel Klatt said, I mean, obviously he's paying attention. He knows what's going on with this team, and he sees the offensive line just, it's the golf ball theory. I don't know if you're familiar with the golf ball theory, but that's what it is. It's step by step by step. Every recruiting window or cycle, Colorado is just getting that much better.
Yep. That's good stuff there from Joel. I mean, that's what the season is going to be about, the trenches. Mm-hmm. The boys up front on both sides of the ball. And from what we can see right now, they've addressed that in a really big way. All the talent, all the production they've added on both sides of the ball via the transfer portal, via the high school ranks. You mentioned London Merritt there. We're expecting him and Alexander McPherson to contribute right away as freshmen on a really loaded defensive line / edge room.
Yep.
That speaks to the like Joel said, the talent acquisition. And I love how he mentioned the 2023 season because, like, I don't know, for me that feels like so far away, but like it wasn't.
Yeah.
And I think Joel kind of described it perfectly. Like, that is just not a sustainable way to win football games. And it's no surprise you win 4-8 when, you have to play around your offensive line, when you can't stop the run or get to the quarterback. That wasn't really an issue, I would say, on the defensive side of the ball for Colorado in 2024. There still needs to be strides made in the running game. I think, and even protecting the quarterback. But I think everything we know right now, that should be much improved. Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, I understand why a lot of the country is like, I'll believe it when I see it type of thing. But also, like, you got to kind of take it at face value at some point. Yeah. Jordan Seaton's 1 year better. You got better at the guard positions by far.
Oh, man.
Shoot. I think you got better at center, too. And it's not being talked about enough. But even if Zarian is, like, above average at best, like, that's still a lot better than what Colorado has had at center the last 2 years.
For sure. And, what if Cooper Lovelace?
Of course. I put him at center in CFP 26,
really?
No lie.
I bet. I mean, he has experience playing that position. And he can be a wild card on that offensive line.
All right, let's do this came out from CBS Sports. Kind of wrapping up Big 12 Media Days.
Wow.
They did, I know. They ranked the Big 12 football head coaches hot seats from hottest to coolest. So we're going to start at the top here. And this means, boy, you got to win off the top. Otherwise, you're going to be looking for a job. I mean, you saw, I was going to ask you if you could guess who the first name was.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
You wouldn't have.
I would not have. No.
First name on the list is Mike Gundy, who just had the worst season in 20 years, the first non-winning season in God knows how many years. I mean, Oklahoma State is Oklahoma State at this point.
Bro, they low-key got to win to save their program this year, I think, bro. Because if they have a similar season to last year and they fire Gundy, what is Oklahoma State?
Well, and
what's cool about Oklahoma State if they fire Mike Gundy coming off of two god-awful seasons?
Well, and then they just did Gundy obviously spoke at Big 12 Media Day, but he blatantly admitted, like, yeah, we had to go into the portal and buy some players, something that we know Oklahoma State hasn't done.
Did you see, you might have seen this too, he literally said that he had to add coaches or recruiters from the SEC because they know how to do it. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, and somebody was like, bro, if you needed to hire SEC recruiters to teach you how to recruit or something, no wonder your program has been where it's been the last couple of years. But that's great. Clearly, he's trying it all.
It's like watching,
like a last ditch effort.
It's like watching the comet enter the atmosphere, and he's a dinosaur. It's inevitable.
That's crazy.
You got to adapt.
What is winning look like for them though this year for him to save his job? Is that just bowl eligibility?
That's a great question. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
Because the standard there should be more than that. Yeah.
Because like I feel like if they got to 6 wins, I'd be like, okay, that's dope. But the higher ups might not.
I think they need to see real progression and development from key positions along with winning football games. Like when you start to think about it, yes, he is the program. Yes, he is like the most successful coach, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And he's had this great run. But it's like watching Peyton Manning play quarterback, where it's like it's great, but then the cliff it was drastic and all of a sudden
and immediate.
And if that's where he's at in terms of like his coaching career, like, and last year was the beginning of that slide, like it could get ugly.
How old is Mike Gundy?
He's getting up there. He was 40 20 years ago, so he's around 60.
57. Okay.
Yeah. Number 2 is no surprise, Brent Brennan.
Should be number 1.
And he kind of approached Media Day with a different tone, I felt like.
It's hilarious. Explain. Because you're going to say what you said to me, right?
Yeah, it's like he psyched himself up in the mirror before he went on the podium. And he's like, we're going to be good. We're going to be a strong football team. I'm going to let everyone know that. We're going to make a statement starting now at Media Days. Like last year it was a lot of like, I don't know, like wishy-washy type of attitude. And this year it was like declarative, like confident. And it's like, is that fake confidence or is that real?
See, that's hilarious. So like I said, you mentioned that to me last week when you were there. Yeah. And it's funny you say that because RK, when you weren't around, was like, Brennan just sounds scared as hell again. And I was like, that's hilarious because Jake said the opposite. Well, so that's what makes me think that's like, it wasn't genuine.
Confidence,
yeah, it wasn't genuine. Because how could you really have confidence in this team?
Of course.
I mean, they've done well recruiting the high school ranks this summer. I'll give him credit for that. But I think he knows what's on that roster. Mm-hmm. And he knows it's probably not even as good as the roster he had last year. And last year's roster was one of the worst in the conference. So I think I don't think there's any Arizona fans watching, but if they were, they would probably be like, no, our team is better than it was last year. Maybe it is. But on paper, from what we know in terms of returning production and whatnot, this is going to be another really long, really bad season.
Yeah.
And it could also be Brett Brennan's last season coaching the Arizona Wildcats.
And you talk about a team where it's like they might fall off a cliff. I mean, you look into the financial like turmoil that they're going through, what they had to do in terms of replacing Jed Fish to get Brett Brennan and where that may put them as an athletic department. Things are not looking good for Arizona down the line. We can go a little quicker here. Number 3, Scott Satterfield. He's 8-16.
2 seasons, right?
Yeah. So I don't know. Number 4, though, They got Sonny Dykes.
Is that 3 seasons he's been there?
Dykes?
40 games. It's about 3 seasons now.
Yeah, so first year they went 13-2, but the past 2 years they're 14-11.
Last year they were solid though.
They were
That's
solid
crazy
last
to
year.
me. He's been there 3 years. 1 year they went to the national championship, and last year they won 9 games, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Wild. Number 5 is Joey McGuire. And this is a
should be
different
higher.
one from the rest in terms of why, at least, right?
What is it? Oh, because
Well,
of the money,
they've
right?
got pressure.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
It's true. It's not pressure to win, or it is pressure to win, but it's a different than Brennan and Gundy, where it's like you got to make a bowl. It's like
Anything less than 10 wins, bro?
you got to get double digit. You have to.
Hell yeah.
If you're not entering the conversation for the Big 12 title game with like 2 weeks left in the season, it's gonna get pretty hairy in terms of that situation.
Are they done favors by their schedule?
Yeah, they have one of the. I'm pretty sure when we did it, they had the last strength of schedule in the Big 12.
They are done quite a. Oh yeah, yeah, bro. This is a 10-win schedule. Their toughest games are at Utah, at Arizona State, at K-State. I guess they got the tough ones on the road, but other than that, like obviously they dodged Colorado.
I don't think their non-conference is really going to catch your eye either.
No. Arkansas, Pine Bluff, and Kent State.
Yeah.
And Oregon State. So, yeah, but they got Houston, Kansas, Oklahoma State, BYU, UCF, West Virginia. Those are all dubs. It's a lot of pressure.
Tons of pressure, and completely different than almost all the other coaches that we talked about so far.
I wonder if that's one of the reasons that they went as crazy in the portal this year too, because they looked at their schedule. It's like, this is attainable.
I mean, if they did, that's super smart of them.
It is. And I just thought about that. But, yeah, that would be smart. Because, yeah, you look at that schedule, it's like, how we don't win 10 wins. I think even last year's team with that schedule maybe wins,
Right.
10 wins.
Sure.
10 games, so.
The list kind of drops off after number 6 here, which is Dave Aranda.
That's cap, too.
I mean, yeah, I'm kind of mixed on that one. Like, I don't know if they would have to have like even 6 and 6 for them would be would be disappointing.
It would.
But at the same point, it's like, I mean, you kind of outplayed your potential last year. You do have one of the better quarterbacks in the country, but
I heard somebody say at Big 12 Media Days that he's the most underrated quarterback in the country.
I could see that. I mean, just in terms of the SEC hype and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, now we kind of get into weird territory with the rest of the list. 7 is Scott Frost, just hired. 8 is Rich Rod, just hired. 9 is Willie Fritz, that's year 2. And then now you're just getting into, 10 is Kalani Sitake. Like, I don't know what situation would get him fired unless they went winless.
Like, how is Lance Leipold always getting away with this?
I don't know. He's 22 and 28, though, and he's number 11 on the list.
How is he always getting away with this, bro?
Standards, I guess.
Below Sitake? Come on, bro.
Number 12 is Chris Kleiman. 13, they put
one spot ahead of Chris Kleiman. Like, what are we doing?
but like we're already like this is so far. Like after 6, it's like your pretty much job is safe unless something catastrophic happens. You know.
See, I don't feel that way about Lance Leipold.
Well,
if they
he is different.
If they win 5 games again this year,
yeah,
what are you keeping him for?
That would make him 27 and 35.
You have 1 winning season, I'm pretty sure, on your belt at Kansas.
But I think it's because Kansas, it's like their alternative is like, well, shit, do we go back to the 2-win days? You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know. I feel like you can do better than Lance Leipold.
Well, the standard at Kansas, I don't think is really a high bar to clear.
Yeah, I guess that is a basketball school. So,
and then after Kleiman, it's Kyle Whittingham, who's pretty much said he's done.
Yeah, they ain't firing him. He just gonna walk off.
Matt Campbell is next. He may never get fired from Iowa State. Number 15 is Coach Prime, and he's only above Kenny Dillingham. Kenny Dillingham and Coach Prime have the coldest seats in the conference, and I think that's clearly the case.
Very accurate.
Honestly, kind of credit for whoever wrote this list. I can't see who wrote it. Shout out to CBS for writing it, though, because it's true. I mean, one, he just signed an extension. That's the most obvious thing.
Right.
But two, it's like you just the progression, the trajectory of the team, of those two teams in particular, are quite different than the others, where they're more so trying to sustain or get back to relevance, really.
I think those guys, Whittingham, Dillingham, Coach Prime, those are guys where if they're not coaching that team anymore, it's because they don't want to anymore.
Yeah.
It's the only
Matt
way they're
Campbell,
not coaching
I
that
throw
team.
in too,
Yes,
yeah.
I would agree. Yeah. Yeah.
That's it for today.
I just want to know what Kansas has done to the hearts of college football people in the media. I just want to know.
It's the Jalen Daniels hype from 4 years ago that is still just going crazy. It makes no sense, bro. At least we see eye to eye. We see.
Yeah, yeah, it's true.
KP asks, how about Jace Matthews and CJ Sadler? CJ Sadler's about a month. What about Jace?
I don't think Jace. I don't think he has a commitment date set. He was tweeting this weekend that he has a date set and he was looking for somebody to do his graphic, but I don't think he's come out with that yet. I would bet that Jace Matthews commits elsewhere, though.
All right, there you go. CJ Sadler remains to be seen, though.
August 15th for CJ Sadler.
North Carolina.
I forget who's all in the mix, but North Carolina is, yeah.
Yeah. Super chat from our guy, Don Peasy. He says, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Fit greater than 5-star. If the 5-star is a fit,
Yeah.
then even better. But never put rating over it. Trust prime people. Facts, Don Peasy.
Good one.
Always coming with the facts.
Peasy.
Kev with the super chat says, my honest assessment is if CU can flip that playbook,
Cut down on man coverage.
cut down on man coverage. Oh my God. and
run
run
the
the
ball
ball more.
more.
CU goes 10-2, but if they've run the playbook from last year, 4-8 or 5-7 loading, run the damn ball. 100%, bro. Thank you, Alyssa.
Pat Shurmur's got a big year ahead of him. If I was making a list of like people, coaches and players included, with like I don't want to say most pressure, but
Sure.
he would be top 2 probably for me.
Yeah. 100%.
No doubt.
The Irrelevant Hulk says, good afternoon. Just a question. Why don't we count Kyle Carpenter from Buford as a commit for CU? Because he's already with the team. He's
2025.
yeah,
technically.
He's already on the team.
Yeah.
I think he's a preferred walk-on.
I think he might actually be a scholarship. I'll tell you here in a second.
Either way, yeah, he was a late ad for last cycle. So he's already practicing.
He played DB, right?
Yeah, from Buford.
Yeah, he's a scholarship.
All right. So, yeah, he's already there.
People were saying, I will say this, a new Meatloaf deal.
Oh,
Somebody said it, 5-0. CU goes 5-0. We're doing it. In my Dre voice, we're doing it, baby.
That's right.
That's right. 5-0. We're eating it. Courtesy of either Laura Levy or our guy Chef.
Ooh, yeah.
Who's
Chef Rob.
Chef Rob, yeah.
I bet
Yeah.
you, yeah, Chef Rob could hook it up for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
So that would mean Colorado would beat Georgia Tech, Delaware, Houston, Wyoming,
And BYU.
BYU in
That's
a
a
late
good
night
one.
game under the lights at Folsom Field. That's fun.
Hell yeah.
Last minute super chat from the only dub ace. Definitely need to change the play calls to strengths. Watch Salter's highlights from last couple of years. Got to utilize the legs. 100%.
I don't know if you saw, but ESPN College Football's YouTube page
Yeah.
this weekend released like Caden Salter's career highlights.
Uh-huh.
And it's just I just found it funny, like the timing when people say, because obviously they're trying to get Colorado fans,
Right.
Engaged on that. But I just find it funny how they just still use Colorado to get them clicks.
Of course, bro.
But yeah, I mean, Caden, ball player, man. I'm excited to see what he does this year.
Don Peasy again. I believe that if CU uses motion and runs the ball, we have a chance at a 2022 TCU-like run, in my opinion. I mean, anything's possible in this playoff age and era.
Can't use motion less than you used it last year. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. Yeah. East Coast Kev again. That playbook from last year was not Shermer. This is not just Shermer this year. This goes all the way to the top. Run the damn ball.
Got to run the ball.
Coach Prime has said multiple times he wants to run the ball.
Yeah. I know Marshall Faulk does.
Whether it was a disconnect between Shermer, Coach Prime, Shador, or either way in that trio, I think something clearly happened there. Obviously, Shador loves to throw the football, and he had a lot of control. So I don't know if that was it in particular, but there's definitely some things that all three could have done better.
Yeah.
And more different. So.
No doubt. No doubt. Mars, why 5-0 kind of crazy? You don't think they can go 5-0 or something?
Don Pizzi again says East Coast Kev can't ain't beating me with the $2 super chat. Y'all are incredible, man. All right. We're going to go record another video. You'll have another piece of content out here pretty shortly. Yeah, that's it. Put some respect on Coach Hart's name. Let's go Buffs.
We all silly like the mayor.